What is happening, YouTube? So, there are two updates of the James Harden trade availability or the James Harden drama. So, the two things happened at the same time, but it was like the opposite that kind of, contradicted each other. So, it first started off saying that the Philadelphia 76ers are trying to bring James Harden back into the training camp. So the Sixers are trying to bank on that. Try to have Harden stay and everything. So it kind of disappointed a lot of Clippers fans. You know, but then later on, just like 4 hours later, um, James Harden um, pretty much reportedly does not want to play. He kind of made it clear that he does not want to play for the 76ers again. And he pretty much himself said, well, not literally. I'm not like quoting him, but there's reports that he's not going to go to training camp, or made it clear that he still wants to be traded and all that. So it doesn't come too much of a surprise, even when I heard the first report, because knowing how James Harden is, when he wants to get traded from a team, he would tend to always want to be out. He would always want to be, oh yeah, I want to be out of here. So I already had a feeling that he's going to still make it clear that he wants to get traded from the 76ers, especially to the Clippers. And every second goes, um, James Harden trade value is going down. And at this current moment, I'm actually I'm actually like cool with the how the Clippers are handling the James Harden situation. Because I'm glad that they're not trying to offer way too much for James Harden. Glad that they're probably not going to trade Terrence Mann. I certainly hope they do not trade Brandon Boston Jr. I hope we don't trade any unprotected first round picks for James Harden, and I think that's likely the case, and none of those assets I mentioned, or Bones Highland, or like pretty much any like promising young assets, like none of them are going to get shipped out, because day by day, James Harden trade value is going to go down, and the Sixers, they're going to get frustrated, they're going to get desperate, they're going to be like if the Sixers actually try to hold on to James Harden, then they are pretty incompetent in my opinion, because not even trying to speak from a Clipper point of view, but just like a NBA point or a sports point of view in general, because like he's expiring. He only has 1 year left. So if you and there's a huge chance that you just lose James Harden for nothing. And there's no way in the right mind that the 76ers should just try to hold on to him and just lose him for nothing. In my opinion, Norman Powell and Marcus Morris alone, I think that's really fair. Marcus Morris, he's a negative asset. I already know. I already accepted that, and hopefully he gets off the team. But Norman Powell, that's actually a pretty respectable bargain for James Harden, because obviously Norman Powell, he's nowhere near an All-Star, but he is capable of averaging 16 to 18 points a game, and he would drop 20 points like every 3 or 4 games. So and considering that Norman Powell, he's probably going to start or get a bigger role with the Sixers, he's only going to do better, and he could probably have like a Lou Williams type of career for the Philadelphia 76ers, and that could actually be a pretty good thing for the Sixers. And later on, maybe the next year, they could probably ship Norman Powell out when his value gets higher. So that would be a smart move for the Sixers to just take the offer price for the Clippers. And as for the Clippers, they should only look to trade veterans for James Harden. Like I said, Marcus Morris and Norman Powell. Nico Batum, he can go too. Um, Amir Coffey and I guess Jordan Miller or Preston. Those are the only young guys that I'm actually okay with trading because in my eyes, I don't see them as becoming like a premier all star, all that. Like they could be a solid role player, but I do not hate the idea of moving them. But if they move Brandon Boston Jr. or any unprotected first round pick or Bones or Man or Diabate, or even Robert Covington or Zubac, I would not be a fan of the trade. And honestly, at this moment, I still do not trust Lawrence Rank because I don't forgive him on what he did with the Eric Gordon trade because what was he thinking? But again, who knows? He might redeem himself. He might redeem himself in this trade. But we'll see what happens. Um, if the Clippers somehow fumble this and do not get James Harden, in my opinion, I'm okay with it. But honestly, it's always like those little things that Tyronn Lue does, especially with his rotations, that is like pretty much the obstacle of preventing the Clippers to win the championship. Other than health, obviously, because um, in reality, all we need, aside from health, is a competent head coach. And I'm not gonna lie to you, last year Ty Lue was atrocious. Even like the years prior, he had so many red flags as well too. He still doesn't really. He's not really the type who's willing to make an effort to kind of try to incorporate the youth with the veterans. He always consists with playing small ball lineups, but they're all veterans. I rarely see Brandon Boston Jr. or even Terrence Mann, and especially Diabate, especially when we needed a backup big. Diabate would have been so perfect for the Clips. But I know I'm getting a little off topic, but I'm just sharing my point of view on how the team could actually win a championship, and it's just experimenting in the right way, not in the wrong way. Like I feel like Ty Lue, he lives in the stigma that, oh, if you're a veteran, you're good. If you're a rookie, oh, you cannot be trusted, despite showing potential. That's what Ty Lue need to do, man. At least he did okay with Bones. Actually, he actually plays Bones decent minute, but within the first week, he didn't even really play Bones. But um, I feel like if he just plays Brandon Boston, Terrence Mann more, uh, give Diabate minutes, and um, pretty much play the youth more, and even just start Robert Covington, I think the Clippers are set. So if we don't get James Harden, someone just need to scream at Ty Lue ears, just not play Marcus Morris and play the youth more. But hopefully we do get James Harden, and I think it's day by day, it's actually more likely because man, Philly, they don't got a choice. His trade James Harden trade market is not as high as what people think. He's 33 years old, expiring contract. Who else is really gonna really actually want to go for him? Miami, they're locked in for Damian Lillard. The Celtics, they already got a lot of guards as well too. They got Brogdon and everything. Um, and James Harden's from Los Angeles, so he will make sure that he wants to be a Los Angeles Clipper. But we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think about the latest news about the James Harden trade. Are you still optimistic that he's going to be a Los Angeles Clipper? Or you think that he might somehow still be a 76er? Um, Obviously, I think it's just more likely. And if I had to give a prediction when James Harden's going to be a Clipper, I think it's going to be sometime maybe in September or something like that, or even maybe late August. But honestly, I would say maybe September-ish because Harden, he's gonna definitely probably not show up to training camp and all that because he made it clear that he doesn't want to be a Sixer. And then Norman Powell, Marcus Morris, Amir Coffey. That's gonna be a nice. It's gonna be a nice trade package, man. And then the Sixers, they gotta take that deal. They gotta take that deal because if they don't, they're gonna lose Harden for nothing. They're just gonna just deal with his fiasco. It's just gonna be another Ben Simmons situation. So if they're willing to take, if the Sixers is actually gonna do that, just have him just sit and do nothing. Um, I guess that's the 76ers loss. And, Harden becomes a Clipper next year in free agency, but I think the Sixers, they're not that incompetent. Eventually, they would definitely go for Harden for Norman Powell, and then Marcus Morris, and then that's a fair bargain. And then once the season starts, Harden, Russ, um, Kawhi, PG, Zubac, our offense is going to be pretty OP'd. Our offense is going to be tough, overpowered, and then Kawhi and Paul George could, do some heavy lifting off for the defense. And I I've been hearing some like some reports, not lately, um but occasionally, like about like a month ago, Clippers might get PJ Tucker in the trade as well too. Personally, I'm neutral about it. Um, I know my guy, Primetime Sports Podcast. Shout out to my guy, Primetime Sports Podcast again. I'm gonna just promote his channel. He makes bangers. But anyways, he's he's really big on PJ Tucker of being a Los Angeles Clipper. From what I've heard from him, he said he hustles a lot. He can make wide open threes occasionally, but his offense, for a while, was pretty much non-existent. Uh, but his defense and according to my guy, his hustle is pretty good, and he showed capability of being a solid veteran. I mean, I'm sure he's better than Marcus Morris. But personally, I would just go for Harden. I wouldn't really go for PJ Tucker because I don't want to trade any more assets. And plus, we already got guys like Robert Covington who could definitely play his minutes, and Kobe Brown. Personally, I would rather give Kobe Brown minutes rather than having PJ Tucker play right in front of him. But that's just my opinion. But again, we'll see what happens. Um, I think this is all what I got to say at the moment. But again, to add on, if worst case scenario, if we somehow do not get James Harden, Ty Lue, you got to tighten up. Or honestly, would have been nice if we just made a new coaching change, really, because again, Ty Lue, he experiments in the wrong way. What Ty Lue should have done is, if you do not want to start Robert Covington, Ty Lue should have done something like Westbrook, Terrence Mann, Kawhi, Paul George, and Zubac. Terrence Mann and Russell Westbrook backcourt. I think Ty Lue should try to experiment with that, because Terrence Mann and Russell Westbrook on the same court with Kawhi and Paul George, our defense is just going to be probably the best in the league because all of them could play defense, and we would get so many rebounds, bro. Like, man, Terrence Mann would just get so many rebounds because he would always average more than usually he would always get over 5 rebounds on consistently, and Russell Westbrook got the same with that too. And then Clippers would just get all the rebounds. And then you have Brandon Boston Jr. come off the bench, with KJ Martin, Bones Highland, Robert Covington, and Diabate or Plumlee. So that's another alternative rotation if the Clippers do not get James Harden. But someone need to scream at Ty Lue's ears, man. Someone really do need to scream at him, man. But again, I think I'm pretty confident that James Harden could be a Clipper. within like the near future and within affordable price. Like I said, Norman Powell, Marcus Morris, Batum, Coffee, Preston, Miller, Jordan Miller. That's like my limit line, and I think Sixers are going to accept it. Or another scenario that I could think of that could potentially help the Clippers get James Harden is they could always try a three team trade. Um, there will always be like a team who would want to save for salary cap, and then maybe they have something that's like a little bit more valuable that could help us get James Harden. Um, that could also be possible too, but I think I'm just pretty much repeating myself at the moment right now, so I think I'm just gonna end this video and thank y'all really much for tuning in. Much love. Have a great night. Peace and thank y'all really much for tuning in.